Hey, what is up guys? My name is Cherno and welcome to episode 3 of game programming. Okay, so last time we took a look at threads and actually creating a thread for us to start the game and to contain the actual game. And today we're going to take a look at the actual game loop itself. So in other words, I'll just do a brief intro to this because again, I am tailoring these videos to also be for people who are new to the concepts of game design and application programming in general. So first of all, you have to realize that a program, software takes a bunch of instructions that get given to it through code, right? So everything that we're programming right now is like an instruction set for what the computer needs to do. So what happens is the computer works through every instruction on that set, like any person would as well. And when it gets to the end, like it's finished, so it stops. But we don't want our program to stop, right? We want it to keep executing essentially the same instructions over and over again. For example, right, we're rendering an image to the screen. Okay, good, it's rendered. Do we want the program to exit now that it's rendered? No, we want the game to keep updating that image, keep rendering that image, because there has to be like a loop, a game loop, for the game to keep working. Otherwise, it just gets to the end, it's rendered everything it needs to render, and well, the computer doesn't know what to do, so it just closes the program, because that's the logical thing to do. No, we need it to keep going. Now, the way we're going to do that is it's quite simple. All we're going to do is essentially make another variable called running. So private boolean, it's going to be a boolean variable. A boolean variable has two values, true or false. We're going to call it running, and we're going to set it equal to false. All right. So our program is not running. Now, what this running variable is going to do is it's essentially going to be like an indicator that our program is running or not. All right. So when we start, we set it equal to true, and then our game loop starts. So to create our game loop, first of all, you'll see that we actually have an error here because we're implementing runnable, but we're not actually implementing the runnable.run method. So to do that, you could just click add unimplemented methods, or you could actually type it out. So that's what I'm going to do. So we need to type out a run method. So public has to be public, void run, and you see that error goes away. So now that we've got a run method, essentially when we actually start our thread, when we start our application, right? When we call this start method, it's gonna run this run method. And so inside that run method is going to be essentially the code that gets executed when we actually start up our game. So what we need to have in here is that game loop so that we don't actually exit out of our program. And we can do that by using a while loop. So while, and then which condition is true. So in other words, while running is true. So while our program is running, keep doing what's inside these parentheses, inside these curly brackets. So I'm not sure, like there's not much to explain here, but essentially what this is going to do is it's actually going to keep on doing whatever we write here, right? It's a while loop. So it's going to keep on doing whatever we write here while running is equal to true. So again, this is the same thing as typing this. You can type that if you like, but that's just a short way of saying that. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Now, one other thing we need to do is actually set running equal to true, because currently it's equal to false. So when we start our game, we want to set running equal to true, because we've started to run our application now, our game. And when we stop, we want to set running equal to false. So what's going to happen is when we run the start method, first of all, we'll set running equal to true, and then we'll start a new thread, which in turn, since the thread implements runnable, and since this is the class that contains the run method, once we start that thread, it's going to run this run method. And when it does run that run method, it'll find the while running loop and keep on executing whatever's in here. Okay? When we decide to stop the game, it will set running equal to false. This condition is no longer true, so it exits out of the while running loop, and that's it. That's the end of our program. So that's, I guess, like a brief overview on how the game loop works. Tomorrow we're gonna actually talk about what goes into the while running loop, so what goes into our game loop, And in turn, you know, we'll do stuff like I guess rendering and updating our game. So that's the sort of things that go into here. Game loopy stuff. So yeah, that's the end of this video. What I wanted to say real quick though was a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about this video, and you know, I guess I feel like you'll need to discuss what you've just seen and maybe ask me questions and stuff like that. So what I've done is, because I don't really like the YouTube comments for questions, I don't usually reply to too many comments. I might reply to like 3 comments per video or something, just because I don't like that, you know, on YouTube you can't really see the the thread of discussion. You can only see like, you know, individual comments. So what I decided to do is, since I'm posting every one of these episodes to Reddit, I'll just drop the link to this episode 3's Reddit thread in the description, so you guys can go ahead and click on that Reddit thread and just ask me a question, comment onto that Reddit thread, and then we'll be able to see, you know, all the comment threads, and I'll be able to respond to you and ask some questions there and fill you in on what's going to happen, I guess, in the future. So yeah, so the link to that will be in the description. And yeah, if you like this video, please hit the like button, helps me out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.